Time we have no fucking dwarf. It is a first session of Rescue at Raxis. Malgur and the player, Braider, will no longer be able to attend due to decrees by the mouse. Hopefully he'll be back. But for now, we rejoin the party. The previous day, you spent some time mingling with a few of the Raxians. A couple of nice little camps. All of them would have been friendly to actual people, but you kind of botched that with one of them. Time was had, booze was bought, other things were purchased. Some of questionable legitimacy. An evening was spent enjoying one another's company to the little degree that the party actually does. And morning is rising. Cornelius stood alone. Droop still snuffling asleep. And you are all starting to slowly awaken. A new morning, but one bedroll missing. Cornelius, is the last part of evening? What are you doing?
Well, I'm probably going to start wiping off the last of the shaving cream from my face.
Indeed, those who awaken can see, still disheveled looking, there is a man wearing the clothes of Cornelius sent. But so fresh-faced, so small-chinned. An actual chin, in fact, so he obviously can't be of noble birth. But clean-shaven. It's like years have been taken from his life. Once more youthful, maybe. There's even some, complimentary rays of light shining down upon him through the dewy morning. It is also bitterly fucking cold. But, it's autumn.
And Cornelius is still happy about his recent purchase of winter clothes. Also, he's not only been cleanly shaven, he's also have actually short hair now.
Has he dried himself off yet?
He is kind of just kind of precipitating the last off. Kind of rubbing his sand across the face, removing a piece of hair.
Appreciating himself. Yes, I did have chiseled good looks.
He does, in fact. And actually using the makeup mirror to make sure that the hair looked decent while he was kind of setting that up as well. Not the best of haircuts since he hasn't, but it'll do.
He looks like a semi-new man. Not mint condition, but at least, new enough to get about 75% of your value back on a resale.
Well, I was about to say something.
I was doing that for all of you.
Yeah.
There's 5 people here. You could fucking say something.
Something.
Morning.
Mm.
I guess Siegfried looks at Cornelius and wanders over to him and asks him whether or not he wants to borrow the bell for a day. Or
Wants to borrow what?
the dwarven bell.
Well, that would kind of go against the point of me having shaved in the first place, now wouldn't it?
Okay.
Yes, Siegfried, you now become aware you are the only beard in the group.
Huh? Where's our dwarven friend?
There is no note. There is no evidence. Apart from some crushed grass. heavy footfalls leading off towards one of the mercenary camps.
I have no idea. I would have thought that I heard him move.
Did he just leave?
Well, you were busy shaving and cutting your hair. That takes a bit of focus if you want to do it correctly.
I would have thought that would have heard him. Some of the other times when he tried to be silent wasn't exactly the most quiet of times.
We could follow the footsteps.
Indeed. And as I start following some of the footsteps, I also take down the hat and I start removing the pin on the side, taking the insignia and putting it in my inner pocket, and then putting the hat back. That is now fully flat to both sides.
The day is crisp.
Dazzle is going to
Oh,
start making breakfast and psyching himself up for the day, telling himself this will be a better day.
Alright, roll deception. I also forgot I need a wisdom save from Siegfried.
Who's going to roll deception?
That was a joke on Zarzul.
Okay.
Oh, Siegfried.
Oh.
It's not been your worst night. But the problem is you got a lot that are equal for worst night. That was only slightly above them. You are rested, but you don't feel it. There were a lot of things last night in your dreams. A lot of them that were other things, and then they became blue, sticky, amorphous, teethed. But hey, it's morning and bright, and it's fine, it's fine, it's all fine, it's fine.
The sun's up. I'm not in a cave. It could be worse.
Exactly. You're out in the open where anything can see you.
I'm out in the open where things at least have to be a bit further away to actually to hide from me.
Well, Rain would get everything settled, and she would start actually doing a ritual cast to actually summon her familiar that she's forgot about.
So you settle down, you draw out weirdly on the grass. You start sweeping chalk around them, and you manage to get the rough sort of shape, it's fine. Dig a few little troughs with your fingertips, just to get the right sort of markings in place, and then, eventually, after 10 minutes, at which point there's a lot of sizzling, there's meat searing from the kobold. Sadly, it's not him in the pot. But then, there is a small, black little raven. Not abnormal looking, just there.
She's kind of surprised it actually worked.
The bird does not look surprised to be, in reality. It seems to be fine just having it came into existence. And now that's her second pet to go with her second class.
Yep.
This one will probably actually listen to commands.
It does, but it does act independently.
So you're just sitting there looking at it?
I just kind of wave and I say hi to it.
Okay. Pufflesworth, on the other hand,
No!
sees a snack on the ground. Normally they're very flighty things. He's gonna try. He might succeed.
Well, technically all I would have to do then is tell it to fly up.
Well, yeah.
I believe the other thing you can do is actually desummon it. You can actually make it pop out of existence and pop back in. As a I can't remember if it's a bonus action.
But are you faster than a hungry owlbear Pufflet?
I think the quickest bet would be to try to get it to fly up. So yeah, what would I roll to try to beat Pufflesworth to saying go up?
Just give me a dexterity. You see the second that his weight shifts, you yell, "Up!" The bird responds, for it is not a normal creature, and is well out of the grasp of Pufflesworth, who flails a bit and slowly teeters onto its back and just sort of flails with its stumpy limbs.
So now I tell the bird to come and sit on my shoulder, and then I turn to Pufflesworth and I say, "No! Don't eat!"
You're going to spend the morning trying to teach him not to eat?
To eat the bird, yes.
That'll be an animal handling roll. How about the rest of you guys? Zarzul is cooking away. If you want to put some flair
I'm
on it,
watching
feel
the
free.
entertainment.
I would like to point out all of my best rolls are going to be here dealing with Pufflesworth, apparently.
He's actually receptive. For now, he will not try to eat the bird. For now.
Tidying up the camp so we can leave early, and we're going to with Cornelius to see if we can find Mal.
Yeah, I was thinking about I already said that I was walking to there, but
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
It's a bit of a walk and all, but you can see in the distance there is a familiar shape, mingling with some of the other, likewise dwarven mercenaries.
What is he over there?
Yeah, like I said, you saw a familiar shape. You saw the bowler hat.
Mm.
Malgern's there.
Now I've got to walk up to him and ask what's happening.
You get a voice in your head
Okay.
saying that's not a good idea. Remember, doing this scene means like it doesn't fix the fact that his shift has changed. He looks happy.
Alright.
He looks content. He looks
Alright.
he looks pleased there's no elves among them.
I somehow get the feeling that I don't need to walk over there. I know fully why he's there.
You have a
Turn
simple
back.
conversation with him and he explains it's just the elf. She's involved with so many strange things he doesn't like being near that for now. He can't trust her. Look what her apparently past romance did. And he's expected to trust that. And so for now he's just going to have a simple time. Hitting things, getting a bit of glory, having some good drinks. Just do the mercenary thing for a bit. Simple.
Be near a group that have healers that you can count on.
He can hope. And he says it gruffly. He does not wish you luck, but he does say goodbye.
And I wish him luck. I wish him luck. And goodbye. And hopefully we'll see again some other time.
In about 6 months, maybe. Alrighty, though. Zarzul, what have you prepared for the camp?
At the moment, cooked meat, some mashed spuds, fried up, nice. Who knows? And some good berry juice.
So yes, you are being presented by cooked meat from the dragon creature. Provenance possibly unknown. And you're all ready to set out for the day.
Pretty much.
Yeah, let's get the show on the road.
Unless someone wants to go more shopping in some of the other camps.
No, I think it's time for us to.
Well, just in case, I'll remind you of a few things that happened last night. There was Castalia focusing on the shard of weapon, and felt that it was close. There was also Camp 2, who were not receptive to a kobold and a goblin walking up to them. The fourth camp, the one that had the booze, You can see in the distance there's people barely moving around there. For a place that has all the booze, also has all the hangovers. And you also know that the night camps were refusing you during the night because you weren't on the payroll. And on that note, actually, 2 of the camps, one with tabards of pink, one with tabards of blue. There's a collection of men, about 10 apiece, only one on horseback in each one of them, doing a bit of a parade strut, a bit of peacocking, flaunting themselves in front of each other. To show they are well drilled, they are professional soldiers, they are strong troops. By marching up and down a grassy hill. It's very impressive.
Or blimey, they're in a dick waving competition.
I imagine it kind of looks like the border guard between India and Pakistan. If anyone has ever seen that.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of posturing. They're nowhere near each other. But now and again there's a few raucous yells. Swords brandished. Which causes quite a few distant groans from Camp 4. But so you're setting off into the hills.
Yeah, if they're going to look for shards, then I'll go.
Well, no, you guys were intending to go to Urmom's Hill, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, are you going...
considering we have no idea where we're going, correct?
You
This is off.
You have a vague idea, but it's also a big, open, hilly plain sort of place, so... If you got to a vantage point, it probably wouldn't be hard to see where you want to go, especially in the daylight.
My idea is to send the Raven up and see if we can figure out which way to go.
Do you snap your senses into the Raven?
Sure.
Alright, as the Raven is soaring up into the air in great lazy circles, you are having a hell of a time keeping your balance and being comfortable with this sensation. It is sailing up and up high. You are seeing so much around you at all times, and so much below you. This would be a bad time to discover you've got a phobia of heights. There are many hills scattered about, stretching off into the northwest. Northwest. He can also glimpse to the northern mountain ranges, very sheer cliffs, like just straight vertical bluffs. And as you try to focus the attention, command to keep an eye on the hills to look for a destination, you can see that some of the hills have a little bit of rocky outcropping on them. Most of them look natural, but there is one which looks a bit of a distance away from you, maybe a few hours' ride. It has basically a crown of stone upon it. Very straight-edged. A single square piece, from the looks of it.
In that case, I would bring the Raven down and then promptly announce I'm pretty sure I know where it is.
Your party are
Excellent.
overjoyed at the news and respond heartily.
So I see
Let
you
us
added
be off.
another. I see you added another fowl to your menagerie.
I feel like gaining a collection, I guess. But, yeah, it should be, and I point in the approximate direction. When we get closer, I'll be able to narrow it down a little bit more, considering that was up there and this is down here, but...
Did you see anything on the way there?
Not really. It's a lot of hills.
There were
There's
there were handfuls of sheep. That's about the best you could make out from the height you went up to see. There may have been rabbits, large hares, there may have been some other wild animals. You didn't really see any like big blocks of things moving around.
Nothing of vital importance, no.
All
Nothing
right.
giant or troll shaped. And so you strike off. Do you go over hill or around hills?
Hmm.
I'm going to try and pick the best path to head this way.
Well, you know that the easiest path, but longest, will be, just to wheel around the hills a lot. It won't put any strain on the horses. It might take a while longer, but it's not going to be an issue. If you go over hill, you'll get a good eye of where you're going at least. But, they might tire out a bit.
Let's take the way around.
You might need to run away quickly. Let's save our energy.
Yeah.
I see you're planning with courage in mind.
We may need to perform a tactical retreat, so let us conserve our stamina.
Alright, as you start trundling along, passing a few of the camps, there's also a few just scattered groups of 1 or 2 people. And you find the simplest path to go between them. There's no road, of course. There's a slightly lower grass line. That's about the best you can manage for a route people might have taken at one point. Some of the hills are very shallow, they're just rising up in a big, long incline. Others actually quite steep and sort of blocking, just being able to see around you. As you're wheeling around the foots of these hills, you can see that there's actually, a good chance of an ambush kind of thing. There is a lot of visibility being lost here. But it's also kind of a pleasant day, bitterly cold, but, the sky is a single clear color. The clouds are few. The rain has relented momentarily. And so you continue wheeling.
As we're slightly concerned for an ambush, I'll be periodically sending the Raven up, not too high, but high enough to kind of get a view around.
As he checks around the tops of the hills, checks fruit blind corners, it all seems nice. He does startle a few animals, a deer skipping away very quickly. But it does actually seem like this is pretty safe. Although as another hour passes, he does spot 2 people slumped against a rock. He can only see their legs and their arms. They're dressed quite plainly.
Whereabouts? How close?
Sitting up on one of the high hills on the right, basically.
Hey guys, we've got 2 individuals up by a rock on the right. Not doing anything, they're just sitting.
And how are they? Are they dressed shabbily? Are they guards?
They seem like normal people?
Yeah, it definitely looks like sort of, employed peasant attire.
Yeah, they don't seem like they themselves would be an issue, but we also don't know what they're doing sitting up there, because I can't tell if they're doing okay or if they're not doing okay. I think I'll send the Raven down for a little bit of a better look.
Alright, as he starts careening around, he's able to see they're both slumped. Just sort of, upper chest kind of pressed against the rock, head up right a little bit, but tilted. Eyes closed. They seem they seem like they're out of it. Possibly asleep, possibly unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a bit closer,
Well,
you can see that they're both male. They look human.
it looks like they're 2 human males, and if they're not sleeping, which would be a little bit odd, but if they're not sleeping, they're either unconscious or no longer in the living world. Which means we might want to check it out.
Definitely want to be on the lookout then.
Hmm.
So how
And
do we up this?
Sorry, go on there, Scotch.
Yeah. How do we approach this?
I guess Siegfried's going to have to stealth up and try and get a closer look.
I'll keep an eye on the sky. If it looks like something's coming up that you weren't expecting, I'll drop the raven down, and he'll yell at you to make sure that you know to get out of there.
Rain, you're startled back to your senses for a moment as Siegfried gallantly creaks himself over the side of a wagon, catches his ankle, and he's hopping there for a second trying to pull his foot away to get even. And then finally it comes free, staggers back, his sword clinks off one of the rocks beside him, and he sets off in a sneaky posture.
Siegfried?
I am a shadow.
I don't think you are, buddy.
Why is he
I imagine-
dragging a frying pan after him?
And two changes of clothing and the chest full of gold.
I imagine he just go down into the sneaking post of World of Warcraft.
I look over and go, Zarzul, how good are you? Or how good are you at being not seen?
Siegfried, you're already gone. And you find yourself scrabbling up the hill. It's a little awkward. It's a little bit awkward. You're getting your feet cut in thick tufts of grass that are just knotted together. But you crest the hill, you peek out above, and you can see two decently dressed humans that are slumped by a rock. They don't appear to be armed. One of them does have a knife on the belt, but it looks like, your basic tool knife. It doesn't look long enough for a proper stabbing weapon. You also don't notice the kobold right behind you. You look past
Yeah,
him
that
and
sounds about right.
you look behind you. You don't see Zarzul, but you do see the wolf that is following him. There's just this little patch of blind spot where Zarzul is crouched down.
I bring my finger up to my lips to make the quiet gesture, and then I get closer.
The two of them don't stir. You're now about
Does it
20
look
feet
like
away.
Yes.
they're actually alive.
Yeah, I'm going to see if they're breathing for a second.
From a distance, you can see chests are rising and falling, though slowly.
So we've got breathing at least, so they're not undead. Good start, good start.
Is there
Oh.
any signs of alcohol? Have we just come across a pair of drunks before?
There is no bottles around them or in hand. There are wet stains on the front of shirts and elsewhere. A lot of drool as well.
But they seem to be asleep. Okay, I'm going to start heading back to the cart because, quite frankly, they don't seem to be paying attention to anything, and they seem to be sleeping okay. So I'm going to head back to the cart.
On the way there, he scuffs his boot buckle against a stone. He trips on a knot of grass. He rolls for a moment, free falling, constantly saying bugger and unable to suppress it, before finally returning in full stride to the wagon.
The two of them just look like they're sleeping off some booze.
Did we wake them and check to make sure they're okay? Because I don't remember seeing that.
Zarzul, you're still there with Wolfgang.
Yes, this can't go badly.
You haven't made your choice yet.
I know.
It's like I'm threatening him, but it's his own decision making. That's the only weapon at work here.
I'm going to draw an arrow on the ground pointing back towards the camps.
Okay, that's
And then
easy
leave.
enough. And you're just gonna leave him?
Yeah, I've seen how people handle kobolds around this area, so let's not just awake them with a wonderful presence of kobold and wolf.
Yeah, fair enough. You draw him a nice direction to follow along, and you head back down. You make no noise, whereas Wolfgang seems to be skidding and stopping at every little couple of feet. By the time he gets back, there is quite a lot of grass stuck in the coating of him.
I get out the comb and get out the worst of it.
So, did anybody actually wake them up and make sure they're actually okay?
They appear to be just sleeping off a drink. They may have gotten lost. I've left them direction.
Hmm.
They,
I think
So-
maybe we should try and see if they are entirely okay.
yeah. Well, nothing. Apparently, if going up there isn't going to get anybody's head bitten off or anything, so yeah, let's go ahead on up there. I'm mildly concerned they didn't wake up when you showed up, Siegfried.
And they marched on up to the top of a hill, and they marched back down again. So who's going up this time?
I'll go up.
I've done my trip. I don't need to go up again.
Yeah, you got your cardio for the day. Rain just goes up on her own.
I'll go with Rain.
Oh, perfect.
Like-
She's got Pufflesworth and a Raven.
Yeah, she's fine.
Do you take Droop?
Hmm. So why don't you stay here? Watch the
Okay.
cart.
Sir?
Yeah.
You look a little weird. Sorry.
Well, quite all right. First time you see me without a beard.
Oh, that's what changed. Okay. I thought you got your eyebrows plucked.
Well, I did do a little tweezing.
Okay, I'll stay right here.
Right. Thank you.
And so Cornelius and Rain walk up the hill, holding hands, skipping gaily through the flowers.
No.
They trudge up, both never looking each other in the eyes as Rain hauls along the leash to get Pufflesworth along with her.
Actually, no. If Droop stayed, I probably would have asked Droop to watch Pufflesworth. Just because if they are drunk, I don't know how they'll take to seeing a baby owl bear.
And so the two of them trudge right on up. And you're at the top of the hill with the two men. They both look a little bit younger than Cornelius.
I
Healthy-ish.
kind of call out and go, "Hey, are you guys okay there?"
They continue to snooze.
Oh. I try to get a little bit louder. Hello?
A few birds fly off from a nearby tree.
Oh. Jeez. I kind of creep over. I'm looking. Which one has the dagger? Uh-oh.
Well, we'll say
Okay,
number
no more.
2. One on the left.
Alright, so I'm going to go to the one without the dagger. I'm going to try to keep my distance, and I'm going to try to reach out and lightly tap his shoulder and then jump back.
He continues to snooze.
I walk up to the same person and just violently shakes his shoulder to get a response.
There is a response in the movement of the clothing, of the jingling of buckles, but there is nothing from the person.
Oh.
Hmm. Can I
That's
do
not-
a medicine check on him?
I like how he's the one that says it.
I was about to say something like that, but...
You could assist him.
yeah, well... Do you want to assist me, or
I
other
can
way
assist
around?
you. You were just not suggesting doing it, so...
Okay, yeah.
Just gonna check what's
I'll
going
assist
on
you.
here. It's a good thing you had assistance.
Yeah, I know.
As you start pieing them down, it's Cornelius who says, "No, not like that. Do it professionally." You adjust them, you can see the airway is clear. The jaw opens, but then it also just stays where it is in place. You're able to pull it all the way open, you're able to set it halfway, you're able to close it, and it just stays that way. You also find you can't get traction on the eyelids. You can't pull them up.
This
It doesn't-
is magical.
It doesn't feel like they're moving at all.
Well,
Hmm.
does it seem like it's a curse? Or some other kind of magical sleep that's not related to curse?
I guess I could do a counter check to check that.
Yeah, you can do that one, and then I'll assist. Oh, I'm not stupid enough to think that I have a better Arcana than he does.
As you're thinking over it, it doesn't seem like a curse, or at least not as in dark, evil, hex kind of curse kind of thing, like the stuff Castalia points out. It feels more like it seems prankish. I mean, you've got two drunks here far from their camp, asleep somewhere in the wild, and as you're looking them over, you're seeing shoelaces are tied together, and they're holding hands as well. This looks like it might be Fey magic. Or at least part of some Fey magic.
That's interesting. Guess they must have run into some rascally fairy creature. But I would guess.
Is it something that you think a lesser restoration would help with, or should we just leave him sleep it off?
You're thinking a lesser restoration, that's more than enough to break this.
I believe so. I don't really want to. I don't like the thought of leaving people unconscious, especially in this what we've encountered so far.
Agreed. So that means it would be lesser restoration on both of them.
Slowly, eyelids open. There's a lot of smacking of lips and sweeping, dried out tongues against each other and just... Fucking hell, that was a mighty night. Oh! Hello! As his face just pulls back against his neck.
Hello. Don't sit up too fast. I think you had quite a night.
I'm not going to make any sudden moves.
Probably for the best. Take out my water skin, hand it to him.
He gives it a sniff. He looks a little disappointed for a moment, but then he does swig it down. That was a mighty night. You alright, Joffrey? Fucking... Where the fuck are we? We had a tent.
Yeah, you're quite far away from the camp.
Oh, I remember you, as he looks over at Rain.
I kind of wave and yeah, you're nowhere near where you started.
Oh. And he starts craning his neck around for a moment to look around, and all he can really see is hills and trees. Yeah, I guess we're not right.
Someone put you to bed, and I had to fix you up so you wouldn't be sleeping out here permanently for a bit.
Phil? Let's see now. Near as I can figure, we got drunk, then we got bombed, then we got blitzed, then we got hammered. After that, we got piss sloshed, mustard, and then we went for a walk. Then we got sloshed again. Just to, ward the cold off. And then there were these classy little birds. Not that little bird. Little birds as he just sort of gestures his finger at Rain.
Yes, I follow you.
And then Sparkles.
Yeah, I think they were playing a little bit of a trick on you, buddy.
He looks over at Joffrey. Do you think it counted though? Oh yeah, it counted. Yeah, definitely. Right, thank you. He starts feeling around on his belt for a second. As you can see, I'm indisposed, as is likewise my acquaintance. So, we give you words of thanks.
That's quite alright. Just didn't want to leave people out here for whatever might live here.
Yeah, we could have got nibbled by a goat. No, all serious now, there is nasty stuff around here, but... Thanks. We've got a long walk, don't we?
You pretty much do. Best advice, I don't think you're going to want to be walking completely potted again like that. Just because apparently if we've got somebody out here who's pulling tricks like that, they could decide to be not so nice next time.
Oh, yeah.
Can you make your way back to the camp?
Oh, there's an arrow here. I'm guessing that's pointing the way.
Yep.
Yeah, we should be able to find it. I mean, we just go up on a hill and then we can keep looking. Right, they both get up a bit sheepishly. They pull the front of her trousers off for a bit, and they just don't look at each other. They're still holding hands, but they haven't realised that bit yet. Right, have a good day.
You as well.
Fucking hell, my head's killing me. And they shuffle off and away.
I shake my head. So we've probably got some fae folk running around out here.
Where they were sitting, you can see, slightly submerged in the dirt, the little end bit of a bag. A little tuft of cloth on a very small bag, about the size of a coin purse.
I reach over to go try to pick it up.
It's definitely in the dirt. Do you give it a pull?
Well, if it's really in the dirt, I'd probably try to dig some of the dirt away before I yank on it.
It feels actually kind of nice, Cornelius, as you watch her scraping in the dirt. On her hands and knees, digging at it, exerting effort. But yeah, as you pull it away, you can see that there's definitely a small little bag there. It looks like it would, about a thumb and a finger of size.
I wager this was related to our friends pranksters here. I pick it up.
It's a small little... It seems like cloth, but but on closer inspection, it seems to be moss. It's a moss bag. Tied with a small bit of vine.
I think we might want to check to make sure this isn't going to do something silly to us before we open it.
Agreed.
Let's take it to Siegfried and let him figure it out.
Let's use it on Zarzul.
No, I don't say use it on anybody. Just let Siegfried check it out.
He's experienced in this sort of thing. He'll know what to do.
So I guess I start heading back down.
Yeah, same.
They return.
Hey Siegfried, we got something that you can look over for us.
Okay.
I handed it over.
You now have in your hands a tiny bag of... that seems to be made out of moss.
I also back up because if he opens it, I want to make sure that
Now,
it does.
Siegfried, to be careful because we do believe it may or may not be related to Fey magic. Nothing. I don't think
Okay.
anything terrible.
Siegfried, you're wondering why the wizard and the cleric wizard gave the possibly fey magic object to you, the mundane thief.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they've already cast detect magic on it to make sure it's not magical.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yes. Though I do move 5 steps away from the
The bag.
cart before I.
As you're just giving it a once over, it's definitely tightly sealed. It looks like it would be very
Right.
easy to unwind it. There's no special knot or anything.
Okay. Yep. I've taken about 5 steps away from the cart and I open.
As you open it, you slowly peer inside. You can see that there is just a rainbow of tiny little pinpricks of color. It looks pretty full, and there's just this incredibly fine, like sand powder, but every grain is lustrous, is shining, is shimmering in various
Bit of
colors.
bomb. I can use this.
So what is it?
Looks like a glitter bomb. If they know what a glitter bomb would be.
They wouldn't. It looks colorful. It could be a bag of minuscule gems, but that's unlikely.
What is that exactly?
It seems like a bag full of brightly coloured sand.
What's the purpose?
I guess throwing at somebody's face and then running the other direction.
Couldn't you just use regular sand?
This seems like a good time for detect magic.
Some rogues have a sense of style, Cornelius. Some of them want to make a statement.
Castalia, do you have detect magic?
Yes.
Pretty sure all three of you have detect magic.
Yes, but I have spell slots and I've already used 2.
You can ritual cast it.
Oh yeah, I could, couldn't I? Yeah, I guess I'll do that then.
Castalia, can you do ritual casting as she scribes out the circle? Sets down her
No,
books?
but I can just cast it for free anyway.
There you go.
I
She
pull
can
some
save
of
you
the moss
time.
off my horns.
We'll say Castalia does it then.
Yeah.
I gotta go AFK a sec. I'll be right back.
Okay. What you find out is that the powder is actually deeply necrotizing, and the second that Siegfried touched it, his moments are numbered. Even before you now, you can see that he's rotting away completely. First the flesh, then the muscles, then the fingers fall away. Actually, it is magical. It seems to be the school of, what would this be? I'd have to check, actually. I believe it's a school of conjuration. Or illusion. It's school of illusion, I'd say.
So, am I really seeing his flesh strip?
No, that was just because he walked away.
Oh, okay.
I was throwing in a gag, but this was Siegfried's final moments that he listed.
Oh no, you
Okay, I'm back. Am I dead yet?
no, you could have just simply said, and as he walked away, he slowly faded. Rush.
But yes, the innards of the bag is magical. The bag itself is not.
Well, the contents of the bag is certainly magical and illusion-based.
Yep, seems to be school of illusion.
Eventually we might have to try to identify it.
Illusions aren't too bad, are they? Illusion magic won't kill you, will it?
Not directly.
Yeah, not directly.
Okay, I
This was
grab a
fan-
pinch and blow it at Rain.
Oh hell!
I'm trying to remember Phantasmic Pillar.
I'd like to point out, you're doing this to one of the only people who can stop this stuff from happening.
Wait,
Yes,
Wait.
but you used me as a guinea pig too many times. My revenge time.
It's about time. The worm has turned.
we do have a diamond.
Rain, give me a charisma save.
Oh, good thing I'm good at that.
Oh wow!
There is a moment when the colors start to bleed, when you start to see sound, when Castalia's horns drip down her shoulders and attach themselves to her hands. And then you blink a few times, shake your head, and you seem to be back in the room okay. Although you did get the feeling there was something behind you, large and snorting.
Oh fuck! That was a bad trip.
So we got an LSD bag.
Do you really think that was the smartest decision?
Do you really think I wouldn't take some sort of revenge for you giving me stuff that could be dangerous?
Your
does
job
have a
is to
point.
be able to open it. I can't open these things without them going off. My job is to fix you when it doesn't
I
work.
I just walk up to Castalia and go, I don't think you can lecture people on bad decisions.
True.
I salt the slugs.
I can't check things for traps.
Yes, but you could have checked it for magic before you handed it to him.
Well, Cornelius didn't offer either.
I can't detect magic.
You can't?
Nope.
Hmm.
I can identify, but I can't detect.
Not in your book?
Nope. I had to use those slots for everything else to help keep you people alive.
Well, no, but if it's a ritual spell, you can keep it in your book and cast it fine.
Yeah, but I don't have it. I never chose it.
Fair enough.
Remember when I've got mage armor?
Did I take it as a cleric spell, or did I take it as a...
Doesn't matter. Clerics and wizards have ritual casting.
Well, no, I was just wondering if I had it in my spell book so he could copy it.
Ah.
No, it's a cleric spell for me, unfortunately.
Okay. So you have a bag, and it looks like there's maybe, from what you grabbed and chucked of it, maybe there's 2 more goes with it.
Pufflesworth.
Okay.
I'll let you decide on what you want to call it until it's identified.
Alright, shall we move on?
Strong pixie dust.
Hallucination powder.
Premium pixie dust. And so you set off again. Up to anything while you're trundling along peaceably between the hills, weaving and bobbing?
Gonna ask Droop how he's holding up.
I kind of put my arms up against the thing that's falling.
How are you doing, Droop?
Better? I don't know. I still see her face.
Hmm.
But, I'm used to it now.
You'll probably be there for quite a while.
Yeah. What was it when you killed someone the first time?
It was terrible. But just like you, I did it to protect someone else.
Siegfried?
No, long before that.
It just seems a bit to save Siegfried.
No. Mine was actually...
It was a goblin, technically.
Mine happened about 8 years ago. My oldest brother, I was with my brothers in the tavern, in our local tavern, and some less than reputable people had come in, and my oldest brother had decided to gamble with them in a game of cards. It ended badly, and all of a sudden there was a brawl. And I tried to stay out of it with my youngest brother. I didn't want to... At some point, I figured my oldest brother would have to learn that sometimes he get into the bad stuff, but I figured he would just be roughed up a bit.
Yeah,
I
but
saw
then
someone
we...
with-
I remember all the other stories you told me about him. This seems to be about half of them.
Indeed. But this time, someone was coming up behind him with a knife. And I did not, at this point, I did not have any magic to do anything, so I just took a knife from one of the table and stabbed him in the back.
Wow.
It took me 3 months to get over it. It wasn't until my youngest brother came up to my room, talked to me, that I understood that I only did it to protect. And it wasn't me being a terrible person. Sometimes you have to do terrible things to others to help save those you care about.
Okay. I don't get to have 3 months to think it over, do I?
Yes, you do.
Well, because
Unfortunately, it's just
we
going to be
always
on the
fight
road.
things.
Well, you get to decide how you wish to protect us.
I don't have very good spells for that. Thank you, sir. I do feel a bit better now.
I just pat him on the shoulder.
He flinches on the first one, but relaxes on the rest. And all the rest of you realize he does have a heart. This is the third time he gets inspiration, but he still hasn't. Because he never uses his rerolls. Anyone else? Do you want Droop to go around and ask, when did you first kill someone? Did it feel good?
Hilariously enough, that would be one of the few times Rain would actually flat out tell the truth.
Well, maybe you could voice. Maybe you could set foot and also give your opinion. You're all in the one wagon. Some of you are sitting on top of a flail snail shell.
Some are sitting inside the flail snail shell.
With the gold.
And all the gold's
And
been
I'm
shoveled
out.
out of there.
I know, I'm joking. Poor Zarzul doesn't get his hoard anymore.
And I'm very displeased.
But you can all crawl inside the shell partially and feel what it's like to be a slug. A slug that owns a home. Any further conversation bits?
That was a
It's not-
very resounding answer.
So you say it's Fae, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there might be more around?
That is entirely probable. However, I'll point out I haven't seen any yet.
I just hope it remains that way.
I agree.
They are known to be generally just pranksters and tricksters, nothing too malicious until they start getting bigger. Once they get the human size, funnily enough, that's when they become more malicious. And so the travel continues. Another hour or so, again, continued checks with the raven. But apart from a scattered small flock of sheep, nothing's really hanging about out there. How high do you send them? Just on the tops of the hills or far up into the air?
At first, it would be at the tippy top, and then I would start bringing it down. So the
Alright.
one would be checking for where we are, and then I'd bring him down to see, okay, is there anything around?
You know that you're very close now to the hill that you think is Urmom's hill. But then he also sees in the air something flying towards him at high speed.
Well, in that case, I immediately make him dive on down. What does it look like?
It looks, from what he's seeing, it looks like antlers, it looks like flapping wings, it looks like taloned feet speeding towards him.
Oh yeah, in that case, I dive him straight down.
Dee-ba-dee-oo. Where did I put them? How far back did I put them? Okay. I'm gonna need a dex save.
From him.
Yes, from him, using his stats. So you just click the stat on the monster sheet. Ooh, no, that's no good.
Ooh.
He tries to dive with all his might, but this creature catches up. And on the ground, you can see the shadow of your raven. The tiny little speck of darkness. And then beside it, this strange human shape. It is just a human. As if they're lying down, smashing against him. And then there is no raven. There is a poof of smoke around it. And the human shadow continues to fly across the ground.
Oh, hell.
Do any of you look up?
I mean, if he's signaling something is coming towards us, then yes.
Well, it's not coming,
yeah, I would have been very.
it's not
I
coming
would've been very
towards you.
vocal.
It's now heading south. But as you look up, you see it's very high up, but you can see beating wings that don't match at all the shadow. It looks like some large birdish creature.
What the fuck?
What is that?
I don't know, and I don't think we want to know.
You could always try a nature roll.
Yeah, I suppose I shall.
Zarzul could always try a nature roll.
Oh, we don't want him doing that.
No, I'm going to roll nature.
It's a thing.
Don't tell him what you can and can't do.
I'm going to roll nature on something I didn't see, because it's probably more than 60 feet away.
That's a point. You wouldn't be able to see it. Quite correct. But, you know, if they describe what happened, which they probably won't, because why would they keep you in the loop?
It's
Actually,
probably
I would describe it, actually.
So I'll probably be rolling at disadvantage, which gives me the 2.
You and Cornelius both know it was a creature known as a periton. It is a horrible, strange creature. It has a deer head, but also the rest of its body is of a large bird of prey. And you know that it's recognizable by the human shadow it has, which does not at all match the creature. Cornelius, you know, a periton's absolute favorite thing to eat is a human's heart. A correction, sorry. That's not what it likes to eat. That's how it breeds. A female periton must be presented with a human heart before she can reproduce.
Here's a strange trivia about the creature.
Don't forget, you did go to a wizard school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Are you going to tell us all this?
Yeah, I basically just go, well, here's a strange trivia about this creature. It will probably try to rip out the heart of any human and present it
Siegfried
to a
is
baby.
currently in the deepest recesses of the snail shell.
You might come out a bit further when you hear that Siegfried knows they prefer elven hearts.
I am half. I am half.
That means you're half elf.
And also half human.
Well, that's
So
when
would
I
that
just
make
kind
it
of.
double?
I just kind of put my hair over my ears a little bit.
But yes, it's continued flying south. It's long out of sight, really. Well, at least long out of range of anything.
I grumble quite annoyedly and get in the back and start trying to summon the familiar again.
Well, I guess it's not mating season for them yet.
Okay, do you have required material components?
Oh shit, do I?
Because it has a cost.
Yeah, I know it does.
I believe you need
Yeah.
fine incense at least.
Yeah, fuck. I don't think I have any extra left. Fuck!
This is why Siegfried only summoned his one once, because it costs 10 gold each time.
Oh yeah, you guys are real strapped for cash.
Yeah, but you got to have the stuff on you to do it, so it's a bit of annoying.
If only you went to one of the caravans who might have been selling wizard stuff.
Well, we can always do that on the way back.
Let me guess. Kobold and and the goblin went to that caravan.
Maybe.
You'll never know.
All you know is that is whoever was at that camp had a lot of pitchforks. And so, as you continue to weave among the hills, you still know where you're going. It's fine. You've got a perfect idea of where it is. And after another hour, you finally pass through enough of the different mounds, and you can see it ahead. It's still about half an hour's ride there, but you see a squat, sturdy-looking hill. Very broad, very steep inclines around it. But it's shorter than some of the others. But atop it is just this solid, square-edged, well, building, is a way to put it. It is small, it is dark stone, it is possibly obsidian? You'd know better if you had your stone expert here, but he's gone. But it is starkly distinct against the skyline, against the surrounding areas. It's just all nice, very temperate kind of nature here. There's long grass, there's heather, there's different kinds of plants and flowers and trees and whatnot. And then there's just this stark, solid stonework. Definitely carved by the hands of a humanoid.
This is likely the place.
Seems quite
I just
like it.
I just realised something. I'm going to look around at people and think, ranged, occasionally ranged. Oh shit, I'm the frontline person.
Well, you say this. Rain has a mace and doesn't have a ranged cantrip.
And
Yes,
she
I
does a
do.
shield.
She's got
I
a
have ranged
shield as
cantrips.
well.
Yes.
I have ranged cantrips.
Not damaging cantrips.
Ray of Frost.
Oh, that's right, you
Poison
took wizard
Spray.
ones because you didn't take the cleric ones.
Exactly.
But she does have a shield.
On the other hand, she doesn't get in close combat because she's afraid of Pufflesworth getting hit.
But she's not afraid of you getting hit. Remember that.
I can heal him.
So, there's your target. Do you go straight up onto it?
What
Yes.
time of day is it?
You have no idea, but it seems like the sun has gotten nearer to the top. Doesn't feel like it's
Okay, so it's
quite
not day.
noon yet.
Yeah. Guess we'll.
Yes.
So is this the place we're looking for?
Seems like it. Definitely looks like someone built this. And it's a bit shorter than the other hills, so kind of screams dwarf.
Now the question becomes: should we bring the book with us or not?
First, Sarsa was going to scout around and just check around if there's any other things around besides this stone wall building thing. Is any out?
How are you going to
Outlying
scout
building.
around?
Sneak around the edges of the and have a look.
Are you doing this with the hood on?
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be a very distinct amount of scouting you're going to be able to do.
Yep. 60 feet.
Have we identified that hood yet?
You have.
He is attracting every goddamn plane or creature.
And he's been warned about it.
Alright, just making
But
sure.
he's still wearing it. Who knows when the repercussions will come up? Zarzul hops out of a wagon. Most of you don't even feel it. And you're going to be going across the rim, basically, the base of the hill.
Yeah, just round the outside edge, as it were.
Alright, give me a perception check as you're running around. Keeping an eye out for anything. As you're passing along it, you do find yourself alert, perceptive. You do see there's a couple of hair tracks. You can definitely see that there's a den in part of this hill. As you're getting onto what you'd imagine would be the rear side of the tomb, at the base of it, you can see tracks. They are equine in nature. Judging them carefully, you believe there's at least 3 of them. And they are heading north. They started at the hill, came down, and headed up north.
Okay.
As you continue to go around, you do see that there's a large tract of flattened grass and earth. As you walk across it, you find yourself, well, it's quite a few strides across. You start to try to guesstimate what kind of creatures that would be, and you're thinking maybe if an ogre was lying down, maybe it would be end to end. It's quite a large just trough and depression, and you can feel, as you just press your feet along it, you can feel that there's holes, there's bits where the ground has been scraped and dug. But only like finger deep.
Okay.
And as you keep going around again, you find a few wild animal tracks, and then you're back what you presume to be the side with the cart. You all actually see him do a lap and a half of the hill. So he does not have a reference point for where the horses are.
What are
Yep.
you doing?
Hey, Zazzle.
I'm assuming I've found the party now by sound of nothing.
Yes, they call out. You know the general direction to look. You're a few degrees off, but you're able to adjust as they keep speaking.
Zazzle, I have a suggestion.
As you look at this tiny draconic creature with a hood on, his only tip of his snout poking out and 2 beady little eyes through the darkness.
When we go down into the crypt that we know has undead and probably not so pleasant things, I'm going to advise you ditch the hood.
Oh?
Considering that we've already figured out that it draws attention from things we don't want attention of. We don't know if any of that stuff is actually down there.
To be fair, that applies to Zarzul as well. He also draws attention from things you don't want attention from.
Yeah, but I prefer at least if we have him, it's him. I'd prefer if the hood wasn't doing it and him.
Okay. There seems to have been horses and things around here. The detail back to them what I found on my way around in a bit.
He tells you about the horse tracks that were leading north, and the great sort of depression in the ground was randomly scraped and stabbed.
Hmm.
They both seem to be on the rear of the hill where you guys are not.
That could be bad, but as long as they're not here. Would an ogre fit through the opening of the place that we're trying to get into?
It's hard to tell, honestly, with how dark the stonework is and the fact that the sun can't really reach in, because it seems like there's a recess. It's kind of pitch blackness up there. You'd have to get closer to check it properly. Within 30 feet, I'd say.
Uh-oh.
The average movement range of an ogre. But that's just a suggestion.
Okay.
Only thing I'm worried about is going down there. I have 2 spell slots down.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that that's going to be not not going to be a fun time in there. So I'm wondering if we should risk staying here for a day and getting tipped.
It is not even noon yet, and you're thinking of camping down for the night.
I'm just worried about the spells.
But you're definitely going to approach the tomb, yeah?
Yeah, we'd at least need to check it out and make sure we're not going to get shanked.
Good. Continue.
Oh god. So is everybody coming?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Drew, do you wanna? John, do you wanna come with, or do you wanna watch the wagon?
I guess I should watch after the horses.
Can you watch after Pufflesworth for me?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you, Drew.
You're welcome. I'll go find a place to hide these all.
Alright. Thank you, Drew.
He does ask you to put Pufflesworth in the wagon for him, though. There's a moment
do.
where he tries to heft him up, and you just see how Pufflesworth just gets longer and longer in the body.
Fluid, yes. Becoming the true cat.
But still very chubby. Alright then, what are you guys doing?
Guess we approach.
Yes.
As you guys walk up, not being restricted by the vision, or the vision cone of 60 feet, you're able to see that there are, higher up the hill, clumps of stonework. Looks like they might have been at one point at least trail markers, possibly torch holders. There's not a lot of them left. But they do seem to be fitting that sort of straight line ascent. And you all start heading up the hill?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a little rough going. Anyone who's got footwear that isn't good sturdy boots are having a bit of problem scuffing and getting purchase. It is a proper climb, and I'm going to need athletics checks. Because as you start getting higher, it starts getting steeper.
What did the benefit the gloves give?
You run with 19 strength.
Yeah, 19 strength, so that gives you bonus points to your athletics.
Oh, wonderful.
Did you...
Change that number now.
How does the wizard have more athletics bonus than you two?
Yep.
Hello, buff wizard.
The
All
wizard,
right,
the cleric, and the warlock are more athletic.
Castalia, you get the choice. 2 of these people have failed. You see Cornelius starting to lose his balance. You see Zarzul tipping backwards.
Oh wait, hang on. I think I might have accidentally at some point have clicked a proficiency in athletics. That might explain why.
Ah,
So yeah. But yes, it's just remove 3 points.
yeah. You can see Cornelius is starting to tip back. His feet are scuffing. You can see Zarzul is scrabbling a bit and starting to go in reverse. You've got time to help one of them.
Damn it.
Unless you can think of something else. All I'm saying is you've got time to reach out and grab one.
I was also wondering why I had that many points in it. That couldn't make any sense of it.
Can I entangle one of them?
With the whip?
Yes, while grabbing the other.
You can. Who are you trying to whip? And who are you trying to grab?
I'll try and grab Cornelius and what's the word? Encircle?
Lasso.
And snare. Lasso. And lasso Zarzul.
Zarzul, as you're tipping backwards, as you're seeing the sky filling your vision, you look to the side and you see Castalia pulling that clump of moss off her hip. It's unfurling into a great grass length. And then she's flicking it at you. As she grabs hold of Cornelius' shoulder and helping steady him. Zarzul, do you let this happen?
At this point, I don't really have a choice in anything.
Give me a straight dex roll, Zarzul. You're able to make sure it doesn't hit anything vital. The whip does not get near your face. It doesn't get near the palm of your hands. It just gets around your midsection where the armor is. And now you feel a little bit snug and secure. It's still wet and damp, but it didn't hurt, and that's a great bonus. Cornelius, you're able to make it up unsupported once you've got your balance back again. Zarzul, you're having to be led on sort of a leash for a bit of a length. But you all do crest the hill. And breathe a sigh of relief. At the moment, all of you are getting those stabbing pains in the shins. You can feel a lot of tightness in the tendons at the back of the thighs. That was a workout. And before you see this deep, dark-looking tomb building, and you see what should be two statues, one of them stands there, dwarven figure, holding a mug of ale. Well, a tankard anyway. The other one, however, you see the platform, you see the pieces of the statue, but they're in a heap. And you see two large stone doors, about twice the height of a person. So yes, an ogre could fit inside.
From the pieces, was the other statue a dwarf as well?
It is a dwarf. It looked to be holding an axe.
Okay. Are these statues oversized dwarf or standard sized dwarf?
Oh, they are about 3 times the size. Well, about 4 times the size of a normal dwarf. They are pretty big.
Do I recognize either of them?
They don't look like Yorant even on his best day. Have you seen Urmom at any point?
Depends on if the tosser, when I was going through its memories, if I would see him during.
No, that one you just got the grave. You were coughing up dust. And possibly decayed dwarf. No, but they do look. They look in the sort of generic way that a lot of dwarven architecture is done. They look like sturdy, well-forged dwarves, but they don't look distinctive.
Well, does the smashed one have a dower?
From what you can see of the face, it looks to be upset, but then it could also just be miffed it's in pieces.
Alright, then. Well, definitely gives me a theory to work with.
Mm-hmm. And so we change
yes.
Oh,
Oh, can we piece it together?
I was not aware of that. Sorry, I was scrapping.
I say moving pieces. Can we put it together?
You can.
Oh,
Now, I want to tell you to be careful with this. First off, I've now got it on the screen, hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, well, I mean, hopefully I've got it on the stream as well. They're going to see you guys piece this together.
oh.
Now,
That's fine.
there are a few provisions here. First off, this is meant to fit together. Also, this puzzle was created by Liquid Arson on Reddit.
Hey, thank you, Liquid Arson.
Not for us or anything, just he put it up generically in RD&D, but I thought, we should credit him for using it on stream.
Well, of course, that's why I'm
Also-
thanking him.
Also, can I interrupt you for something important?
Go ahead.
So that Alara says, guess who spent the last 15 minutes looking for character art?
We'll get to that, though. But for now, Now, unfortunately, the way it worked, it didn't size properly. I had to fiddle with it, so it might not fit together completely, but I know what it'll be when it's right. Also, some of the pieces are going to overlap awkwardly.
Ah,
So you're better off sticking with keyboard commands, and this is not grid. This is free floating. So, good luck.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna take this chance to go to the bathroom because I feel like this is gonna be pure show.
someone else seems to be having fun with it.
I mean, you
Yeah,
say
just
that.
step right
You
into
can
the
all control it.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yes, you can all help out. Don't forget, you can also drag a box and move, collections of pieces.
Oh, yes.
And I can't see the chat or anything. It doesn't look
Right?
all right on stream.
Oh, okay. That's how it goes.
And remember, if you're moving something around, the other people can't see it moving until it's stopped.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll put it there.
Did that look?
Yeah. Like, it looks like it has to overlap a little bit.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
bits do overlap a bit.
Like that looks like it should belong there, probably.
Now I just get to sit back and relax. I will give you a tip for free. He is taller than that.
Yeah, but we can always move them up.
You can.
And this could also just be a bust.
No, it is a full figure of a dwarf. You can tell that from the pieces.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There you go. You guys are doing a great job piecing it together.
I'm barely doing a thing.
This was
Then who else is moving it? Because I'm doing some.
well,
pieces,
there
but
are
not a
two
lot.
brothers.
Well, congrats to them. I mean, every time I think, okay, I'm just gonna move this. Sorry, moved.
I just want to. Now we have to take a moment and imagine what's this look like as the party gather around and help out.
Like a preschool art project.
Probably doing a lot of bickering.
Also, none of the pieces need to be rotated. They are all the correct orientation.
Okay, that's good. Mm, mm.
They're doing very well.
Yes, definitely the brothers because they have not said a goddamn thing. They are concentrating hard.
Just
Trying
Siegfried.
to figure out what goes. Yeah, because I feel like that should go there, but at the same time, it's a little
I'm just
weird.
not sure.
I just imagine Zarzul standing on Siegfried's shoulders. And Siegfried is
little-
sitting on top of Wolfgang.
This is going to be connected with that piece at some point because of this spindly doodad.
It's at that little circle down
Not,
the
not,
base.
that.
Getting on.
This is
annoying me.
no, that didn't want that piece. Tap it.
Hey, Scotch, could you check
No,
on
I
the stream
don't
if
want
I'm
that-
capturing all this properly?
Yeah, it's all good. I can.
Fine, it's fine.
Okay.
And Lara is going very much cheerleading for you.
This is what I want. There we go.
Yeah, I can't check her responses right now.
Shit, I didn't want that.
You're not going to step in and pull rank here, Cornelius?
Shit. I think it doesn't help that one of us will move something and then the other one moves the same thing.
That's why you're all able to
Yeah.
move it at once. You're your own worst enemy right now.
There we go. That's straight up and down. That's
Remember,
clearly what-
teamwork makes the dream work.
I think this is going to here.
Yeah, at first I didn't because of that
Goes here.
circle down at the
Yeah.
bottom. But yeah, that seems to work.
Yeah, that goes there.
If the brothers focus on the dwarf, we'll try and focus on the pillar.
Well, I mean, the dwarf's pretty much done.
Yeah, it's just this bit and how it connects to the top. Hold on. Hold on, there you go. I put more on that dwarf. Okay.
Wait,
I think that's how it worked. Does it fit?
Does it fit like that?
Oh, yeah, I thought that fit.
That look alright?
Yeah, because if it goes in, because it overlaps a little. This is the piece that I moved in. No, you don't want that piece. This piece is the part that I'm not sure where it goes.
Let's check my save file in
Here.
Final Fantasy.
There we go.
Oh!
Oh, yes.
And this part goes. I think this part goes here.
Are we all having fun, children?
Yes.
Isn't it
Yeah, I
great to
think
have
that
group
goes there.
activities?
Then what goes here?
It's with the front. It's kind of throwing me off.
And then what about this?
No.
I will remind you, like I said, there was problems resizing some of the bits, so it's not a surefire, like full-on proper-sized fit on parts of a dwarf. But where I got it to, it was working pretty well. But man, it was a fucking nightmare to do.
It's mostly this part here that looks a bit funky.
Because these parts go together.
Yeah, this part has to go to here.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
part
no,
has
yeah,
to go to here.
That's it, stick all the parts
Yeah.
together, good.
Yeah, I think this goes there.
And
Yeah.
that'll form the head.
Wait,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no, that's not the
Yeah,
part.
that's the pommel. Yeah, there we go. That's the middle. Here we have the middle.
Yeah.
See, I told you it was taller than
Yeah.
you thought.
Yeah,
And this part then goes.
and yeah, this part goes here.
Oh, it's a kilt. It's a battle kilt.
Yeah.
So this
Oh,
part goes here.
sorry. Oh, damn it.
Not that one. This part. This part goes like right.
Oh, where's the arm?
No, not that one.
We have one arm.
Yeah, what the fuck? There's are there bits missing?
I think so.
There we go. Finally.
Yeah, because all the parts were pulled apart. I don't think we saw the other arm.
Yeah, because I pulled all of them out. I was just moving that to check to make sure.
So I'll put it back there.
All the parts should be here. What the fuck? Where did the arm go?
Hang on, let me just move some of the lower parts here just to see if
Well,
Yeah, because I cleared all that away immediately.
you have hidden something. Maybe
No,
on a
none of it's
different layer.
hidden. It's all in that spot.
Oh.
What the fuck?
oh, I can. Oh no. I don't want to grab the
Oop.
arm.
I'm
Gripping.
breaking it myself. What the hell? I didn't
Where
change
did this
anything when I
part
set
go?
this up.
I think this part goes here.
That might be part from that's missing.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah, you've got it right. It's just,
Somewhat
why are there parts missing?
Does this part belong to something that's missing, or does it belong up over?
No, I think it's for something.
No, that's there.
missing.
Yeah.
And then this part's meant to go hang on, get off it. See, that part's meant to go there, where the other arm is meant to be.
Ah.
That makes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because see now here, there's two hands right there. Yeah.
Yeah, where the fuck did that go? Where are the pieces that went missing? What the hell?
Well, this guy could definitely be Urmom. And because the statue is smashed, there might be someone inside who wasn't very pleased.
Hang on. See,
And
like,
as
this
it
part
was-
here should exist.
Yeah, no.
See what I mean? Why the fuck did I have to pull this out? And then, here we go. See?
Yeah.
Then you just pull all this stuff up together. Why did these parts vanish? But yeah, you guys
Oh,
got it
look
correct.
at
Woohoo!
You guys did a good job. The statue is solved. Why the fuck did those bits go missing? Anyway.
Anyway, that's my theory. The statue was Urmom, and whoever's inside smashed it and is in there.
Well, as you piece it together, the bits lock into place and seal over. You don't see any fractures on them anymore. It is locking into place, which is how you're able to have such heavy bits of stone together. And then it stands sturdy. You hear a clunk. The doors remain closed.
We just solved the puzzle.
But the doors are still. Do we see anything else out here that might indicate why the doors haven't opened?
Have we actually tried the doors?
Of course
That's
not.
worth a try.
Congratulations, you just locked the doors.
Really?
No, but you try to give a shove to the doors, Zarzil?
I tried both pushing them and pulling them.
Oh no, there's no handles on them.
This-
But you push.
Ah,
You all see a little kobold scraping his feet, pressing against this huge stone edifice. What are you guys up to?
I kind of suggest to some of the other human-sized people to kind of help the kobold.
I go to help him.
is there a door knocker?
There is not.
I got the gloves, so I use those.
You all give a good shove, a good old college try. Nothing. There is no budging.
I want to investigate the general area and see if we've missed a hint.
Well, as you glance around, you do see that there is dwarven writing inscribed onto both of the statues.
Which I promptly go to read.
The one you reassembled says "Dwarves stand firm." Yeah. The other
And
says "No dwarf drinks alone."
aha,
Dwarves stand firm, and no dwarf drinks alone. So maybe the booze might come in handy. Maybe if we drink something.
I thoroughly recommend that you all get hammered. That will open the door.
I pick up a mug. I stand around the dwarves don't drink alone, wrap my arm around it, and lean on it.
I mean, you make a cute couple.
It
Well,
was worth a
there's-
shot.
There's no clunk, though.
What's the dwarven word for cheers?
I think they invented it.
Gross!
Is there anything in the one whole mug?
There is nothing in it. It is bare.
Do we need to put something in the mug?
We could try.
Can anybody make enough liquid to fill the mug?
We have spare alcohol. I mean, why
You have a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
Mm.
No!
Yeah. mm.
Do I have to
After
do convincing?
create water. Let's just fill it with water.
Okay. That it seems almost like an insult.
If it doesn't work, then we can try the booze.
You cast create water on it.
Yep, to fill the mug.
You create 30 gallons of water. Some of it gets in the mug. The rest of it gets around Castalia and anyone else who is near the statue.
I'm prestidigitating myself.
I think that's a new term for it. The water does not stay in the mug, however. The stone statue, its arm turns and pours it out.
Okay, it wants beer.
There is no
Yeah.
funk.
was also thinking it would have been weird otherwise, because what would happen when it rained?
Props to the designer for that.
Well, I guess we should probably trundle down and see if we can get any of those beer casks.
I sit down, indicating it's not going to be me.
The one who is carrying several bottles of wine in his pouches. But he's not parting with them. Who's going down the hill?
I guess it'll be me.
Anyone else?
Mostly also because I remember what the dwarf's reaction was to wine, so I'm not going to assume.
He does have a point there.
Is it really just Castalia going down?
Yep. Seems
right.
like it.
Athletics check.
Oh boy.
As you're trying to carefully go down this very steep hill.
Okay. No, not that one.
You probably now remember that Malgern walked off with a potion that helps your climbing.
Yes, he did.
It'd be a bit of a waste, but he has it.
Are you sure? Because I think he would have put it in the regular stash, wouldn't he?
You guys
No.
start... Well, Castalia starts to climb down.
Hold it. I'm gonna use my inspiration. Of course. Of course.
She gets a third of the way down the hill at a pace that's controlled. The rest of it, not so much. She's already covered in water. She's moist to the touch, and as she's rolling and tumbling and falling, she's getting covered in bits of grass and errant plant petals. And you take 3 points of damage on the way down. You manage to sort of stop yourself, mainly by using your horn, the lash, and your claws. Just your fingernails digging in deeply to try and bring yourself to a halt. And you just manage to stand up at the bottom. But you look like you've been dragged through a hedgerow for several miles.
It seems accurate.
You were getting used to having a couple of small little white wildflowers in your horns. Now you got a bouquet.
I push off some of the foliage. And how many bottles of booze did we get?
You still have a
I'm gonna-
keg of rampant cock.
But can I really carry that keg all the way up?
If only there was some sort of group of people who could help each other.
Are you alright down there?
None of them were even watching as you fell, which is nice in one way but hurtful in another.
Okay, about how far up is the top of the hill?
Oh. Probably a bit more than 30 feet, I'm afraid.
Alright, well, so much for dimension dooring up. I grab the keg and back
Hang
up I
on.
go.
Hang on before you start. And I
Because-
take the rope that I have and see if I can find somewhere to at least help some of the way up.
I mean, there's dwarven statues, a couple of rocks, it's easy enough to find an anchor point. Really, you think about why you didn't do this before. But obviously, because there's a danger to the booze, now he springs into action.
Well, I figured that since she managed to help myself and the others up, I figured she could make her way down safely, but I can see that was apparently a one-time deal.
Gravity is a harsh mistress. As
It's
random as
easier
ever
to get
changing.
into trouble.
She is as
easier
random
to
as
get-
ever changing as the tides.
And it's easier to get into trouble than out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the rope, it's not that much of an issue. It takes a while. But, you're able to haul up the keg, if the others help.
I'll help.
And Castalia as well.
Of course.
It looks a little worse for wear,
I-
but she's still carrying herself well in the dancer's outfit. Still soggy, still with a lot of loose grass clinging to her.
I move to prestidigitate her a little bit.
Thank you.
There's this awkward moment where you do get rid of the water coating her for a second, and it just all seeps down again. But, the plant life is gone. The stuff that's foreign anyway. The moss clump of sodden lash and the various bits on her horns and along her shoulders, that's all fine. You have one mostly clean tiefling and one cask of rampant cock.
Zazel was going to ask Siegfried what the dwarven word for cheers is.
Cheerski.
Skull, skull, oh, skull.
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 No, skull.
Yeah, skull will do.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Don't fucking argue me on this.
and with this,
Remember, they're not
Zazel's gonna
Vikings, they're
take his
dwarves.
little bag and walk up to the doors and go,
First-
and go,
first-
skull.
And whose mythology do you think it's come from?
I don't know, Forgotten Realms dwarves are a weird mishmash of things.
Before we do anything else, I pour everyone out a mug of coffee, and then go to fill the dwarf statue with it.
You're
So
all
we can
looking
all
at it.
toast.
Go on.
So we can all toast. Because no dwarf drinks alone. And I certainly, hell, am not drinking alone with the statue.
So as you all share a great foamy rampant cock with each other and the dwarf, you pour it in, and then it starts to tip again. Do any of you do anything?
I would do a drink. I would start sipping.
I move to make sure it doesn't spill.
How?
I move up the glass to touch this glass.
Oh,
As it
good.
does, he pours a slight amount of the contents into your tankard. And then it straightens up again.
And then I say skull, and then I drink.
And as you all take a swig, so does the statue. And the doors begin to slide open. Air rushes out, cold, bitter, musty. The tomb of
I have that.
Urmom opens up.
I hop down and give Cornelius a pat on the back. Thinking of that.
You're welcome.
A good drink is one shared.
Quite proud of myself for the first time in a long time.
And what you see is a narrow set of stairs heading downwards. They're coiling out also very tightly, but there's enough for, two astride.
Well, let's head in.
Anyone lighting a torch, or are you just going by dancing lights?
I'll light the lantern.
Yeah, otherwise Cornelius would not be able to see shit.
I'm also gonna light my mace just because I have a feeling I know what we're gonna run into.
As you descend down the stairs, you're noticing very sturdy. Everything is very well cut from the stone. Expertly carved. It's not highly decorative. You're not seeing frescoes or anything. The walls are smooth, but there's enough rough patches in order to place your hands and get a grip and keep balance. And you do notice there's light below as you continue to descend until you walk out into another hallway. This one, there are small shining gems wedged into the stonework of the walls, casting, it's a dim light, but it's light. The hallway itself seems to be about 20-30 feet in a straight line. You can see that there's another set of heavy doors. Solid stonework. Keep on trailing off weirdly. Solid stonework surfaces
Any, anything particular about the stonework surfaces?
The doors themselves have reliefs that look quite a bit like the dwarven statues you saw before. Very simplified, much more angular. Give me a perception check as you're checking the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. Hang on.
The floor is in segmented tiles. Very large, though, like 5 foot astride. And the walls, it's hard to make out at first because of a dim light. But as Siegfried brings the lantern over to show it a bit more, you can see that there is actually designs on these. And they're carved, they're etched deep into the stonework. Although it's all one color, it's all this solid black. So it's taking moments to get the light just right in order to catch the sort of slightly polished line work. And you can see depictions of a dwarven warrior with a great, massive hammer. Beside him you see this strong, broad-shouldered looking human with a great sword. And then a halfling with a bow. And then as he angles the light a bit further, you can see that they are with raised weapons against what looks like a dragon. Very large. Alongside that, what you assume is a chimera. You haven't actually seen one before. Cowards. And some huge creatures you don't quite recognize, but they're bigger than the dragon. They don't look like one of them seems to be this large one-eyed armored serpent creature with huge crab claws. And it towers over the dragon a great deal. The other side is perfectly mirroring it. That's what you see.
Well, looks like this place is quite the legacy.
Yorin did kill a lot of things for this guy. He also was a very great dwarven hero.
With a hot-selling book. Wasn't a bestseller, though. Not enough sex scenes with sussy gypsies.
Well, he was very dour, so.
Yeah, you do notice in the depictions there is no joy on the face of the dwarf. There's a great big grin on the human.
To be fair with our with the dwarves we have been acquainted with, this seems to be the expression for dwarves that we are used to.
Yeah, pretty par for the course. I would point out that Rain seems a little bit giddy looking at all these things.
It's definitely old. But again, you know pretty much exactly how old anyway.
Zazul's going to have a look around, see if there's anything else of interest.
Give me an investigation in your case, since you're trying to be specific.
By the way, are we still supposed to be seeing the picture of the dwarf statue?
Well, you're just on here for now.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
You don't pick up on anything fresh, Zarzul. You look around, you get the same sort of appreciation that Cornelius did. You don't see anything untoward, although one of you is dead now.
Sorry about that druid that I need to roll up.
Now, we're looking for a key or something, aren't we, here?
We're looking for keys for the book, yeah. What, did we ever sort out if we actually brought the book?
No.
Yeah, I asked if we should break the book or not.
And no one
I was-
answered.
I was trying to suggest that we should, just because maybe if somebody's down here, that it might end up being useful. I don't know, but
So I'm going to assume we brought the book then.
I'm going to assume that Rain's the one holding the book.
Mhm.
probably yeah. And I probably made a special pocket in my dress for it.
It's a pretty big fucking book. It's like a backpack.
Yeah, she'd probably have to put it all the way in the back or something. I don't know.
She wears
Or
it
a
like
hood
a
in the
papoose.
back. Yeah, I'll not, have a spot in the back and slide it in the back.
So what are you guys doing?
Well, I
Oh,
suggest
Siegfried's looking longingly at his empty mug.
I suggest we check for traps as we go in,
I mean,
because
you
if they
could...
put all that effort,
Oh well, I guess Siegfried's got to do other stuff now. Can't be moping after spent beer.
You can always dash back up to the keg.
No. Got to be slightly intelligent.
Yes, please don't log us into the tomb.
Yep. So, perception for looking for traps?
It'll be investigation. You are exceedingly careful. You're on all fours inspecting each of the tiles. The dagger is out. You're checking underneath. You're trying to see if there's a seam, if there's any kind of alteration in pressure in them. And you get about halfway and start to realize, no, this actually seems on the level. You're still very careful about your movements, though. You're still checking everything for a possible, maybe a little kill hole. Maybe there's some sort of switch somewhere, or a glyph. Maybe one of these segments is slightly lighter black than the rest of them, and it pushes in. But you eventually find yourself in front of a door, alive, and with nothing triggered. And you're kind of sure that there's not anything here.
Yay, Siegfried lives!
What you do pick up on, though, is that as you get to the door, it's not a push or a pull, it's a shove to the side. You can see that there's hand grips in order to push each of the doors into a recess in the wall.
I'm going to check the door for traps as well.
Oh no, that
and
covers
see
it.
if In that case, I am going to gently pull the door slightly ajar so I can see through.
Gently pulling gets you nowhere. It's a large, heavy stone door. Because dwarves
Right.
don't do things by half. If they did, they'd be
Seeing
called
as,
halflings.
Seeing as I'm a strong male character, I am
Yes.
going to try and athletics the door open.
Is there a strength mod between any of the guys in this party now?
Hey,
You do a pretty good job, honest. It must be the belt, but you feel a bit natural hauling this door. You got a feel for the weight of it. It's not wobbling, it's not wiggling, it is sliding in perfectly. Good dwarven craftsmanship. For some reason you swell with pride at that. You open a little bit and peer in, you see... This time it's a hall, but it opens up into darkness. But what you can see, before it gets there, about 20 feet in is the hallway. And you can see a stand with a curved, it looks like a bone spiral horn. On a small stone plinth.
I start approaching Siegfried as he has started opening the door. Guess he gets safe.
Yeah, I start approaching and I guess looking and seeing if I recognize anything here that might be a problem for us.
Well, as your eyes turn to the walls, you can see that the scenes have changed. You still see that There are the creatures, the great, horrible, nasty creatures. You see a hydra among them this time. But you also see they are posed in death. But in the middle, so is the dwarven figure. Standing upright, in the position anyway, arms across chest holding the great stone hammer. Or great iron hammer. You see the human and the halfling, either side, heads bowed. You also see, at whatever he's resting on, the emblems of the Azael and the Cerule Knights. And below that, well, you're assuming that's probably the flag of Raxis. You haven't actually seen any of them flying.
Hmm. That's of interest.
I kind of do some dancing lights to move them further into the room just so we can get a better idea what's in there.
You can see that the chamber widens out into a circular area. In the middle of it is a great stone coffin.
Right, let's not open that if we can.
It's slightly ornate, but it's large, it's well carved, and it is stark stone lines. The rest of the area, there are trophies, there are bits and pieces of creatures. There are some weapons, but they look ornamental at best. You do also see an anvil, several hammers, sets of tongs, and a dead forge.
Now, why?
Are there any other doors?
There are no more doors.
Why would the key to that book be here?
I don't know.
I'm not even
going-
truly sure the key is actually here.
He was pretty insistent that it was here.
No, he's just insistent on this place. It doesn't have to mean the key was here.
So in the main room, was there any other doors, or is it just these two chambers?
Just these chambers. Very straightforward.
So Azul's going to go have a look on the forge, see if there's any molds or any.
Now you see the tools. You don't see any. You don't see molds. You don't see any shapeworks or even materials.
Yeah, I'm going to be investigating very carefully and try not to disturb anything. All the goodies and see if there's anything around here that indicates something might be up.
I'm going to assist in that investigation because I would probably have an idea what we're looking for.
Siegfried, you watch as they all walk past the horn, sitting on the plinth.
Well, that includes the horn. Is there anything special about the horn?
Well, seeing as they're ignoring it, I'm going to go and have a look at it, but not touch.
Well, I mean, you all do give it a look over. And you see etched in Dwarven on it. Blown only by those with iron in their skin, with steel in their bones.
It would have been nice to have Malgern here.
Well, we do have another metal worker with us, I believe.
Not true.
You also have someone who is kind of a dwarf.
Yep, we've got one that's sort of a dwarf, and one that's actually a blacksmith, so.
Would Siegfried be enough dwarf to trick it?
Do I really want to find out what will happen if it doesn't?
Well, if anything happens, I'd fix you up. I don't think it'd be anything I can't undo.
You are not
Rocks
the best
fall
at
and
convincing people.
Siegfried dies. Yeah.
No, rocks fall and everyone but Siegfried dies, but now Siegfried's trapped in a 5-foot by 5-foot hole. And surrounded by rocks. Siegfried eventually dies.
Well, that's our options. We go with the one who the magical abilities infusion of a dwarf. Or one
I
who
have a
might
better
be
question.
infected.
Who's got detect magic on a ritual spell?
Castalia can cast
Me.
it whenever she wants, as many times.
Yeah.
Would you mind having a look at the horn, or at least around the room, to see if there's nothing that might accidentally kill me?
Sure thing.
The horn is magical. The weaponry
Anything else?
The weaponry sitting around is also magical, all of it.
Alright.
With a, what was it again? Abjuration. All of them trigger as abjuration.
Hmm.
So let's not touch them.
Yeah.
Nothing magical about the forge, or any of the tools. There is abjuration on the coffin.
Can
What
I
do you call
do
it?
an identify ritual on the horn?
Alright, what you know is that if you manage to successfully blow this horn, it will link you to a warrior in Isgard on the Great Fields who battle eternally. The land of the greatest warriors.
Huh.
It will summon them temporarily.
Guess I shouldn't be surprised that this is a summoning horn. But for someone on the other side. So, we guess that it would be whoever is seeking our deceased friend here. Is there anyone who is seeking him particularly?
I thought we were just looking for keys. We don't really want to disturb some hero's grave.
Yeah,
Goodness knows what might do.
I don't want to touch things unless it has to directly involved with getting the key.
I won't
Of
mind
course, he
talking
might
to
be
him.
able to answer our questions.
Yeah, if we can get a hold of him, maybe we can find out if anything's gone on in here.
As they just
The thing is
ignore
that-
Castalia raising her hand. I want to talk to him.
I can see I can see that the value of trying to figure out if we can summon him, if we can talk to him and see. I don't know. Maybe he knows that something was going on in here that we don't know or something. But and then I think Castalia wants to talk to him probably.
Well, I don't see anything else. Room, and I really don't want to disturb the grave.
Yeah.
No.
It's time to make a move.
Can we tell? Has any of this actually been disturbed before?
Looking around, it
Judging by
looks...
the countless dust being described, I'd say
No, it's not even dusty. But doesn't look like anything's been moved around. The grave is undisturbed.
Are we sure there's no secret trap? Hey Zarzul, can you figure out if we have any undead anywhere nearby?
I guess I could do that. Spend a little time, get a little bit of feeling for the area.
There are quite a few undead signatures. Not here, though. There's one not too distant in the north. A great
There's
wad
one.
of it.
There's something to the north, but nothing here.
Wait a minute. Was Prender's going to be meeting up with somebody to come here? And whoever that person is has the key?
Since she's obviously forgotten, I'm going to point out he said the name Biril and
Oh,
Urmom's
Biril.
Hill.
Yeah, Biril and... Okay, so maybe he was trying to meet this Biril at Urmon's Hill, and that's what the horse tracks were.
Possible.
I just see him stroking the entire length of his snouted chin. Could be possible, but perhaps not. Perhaps the criminal is right here in this very room.
Oh, we know that already.
Good Zarzul.
So... I suppose, yeah, trying to do the horn. That could also be what they're coming here for. Because it's bringing something from dead things into this realm. And it could be that that's what they're looking for.
Or preventing someone from getting into from whatever's in here. The statue was smashed.
But I don't see why any undead liking things would want to seal off a tomb and not try raising the body.
Would you really want to raise the body of some hero that probably would try and kill you anyway?
Well, it depends on how you raise it.
She seems very knowledgeable about necromancers.
Of course I am. I deal with them on a regular basis and getting rid of them.
Wait, what?
She sees one when she looks in the mirror every morning.
No. Remember, I deal with undead a lot. Part of my thing is getting rid of the undead. I'm used to seeing all types of undead. They don't always necessarily walk around with their own opinions on things. Having a big, important guy would actually be kind of nice if he was strong. He would be a decent soldier, probably. Anyway, are we going to try to use the horn?
Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
What indeed?
Spirit shows up to kill us all.
Or it could just teleport someone to fight in their eternal for all day.
Well, the most dwarven person we've got is Siegfried.
This lanky streak of piss with a 4-foot-long beard.
At least he's got the beard. It's better than Malgern's.
Yes. But is that considered enough dwarf for the one who has some expertise in craftsmanship?
Well, what does the quote say again?
What?
The quote.
Blown by
well,
those with skin made of iron, steel in their bones.
That seems... Go ahead.
I was saying that. I'm assuming that to mean dwarf.
It very much seems more to favor.
Can you dig it?
Oh dear. So they want me to do this.
Well, they want a real dwarf, but you're the only one left.
Is that, or you pass on the belt to Castalia for a little while.
Then you go blind for a bit. Could do that if you want to try it.
Doesn't it take like an hour to attune?
Are you guys going anywhere?
I'm up for trying it.
Alright, are you at your free item limit?
Yes, I am. So I'd have to trade over the gloves.
There we go.
Okay, I hand you the belt. I go blind. Oh, no, not quite
No.
blind.
Don't know,
Yeah,
you've got your
fine.
lantern.
And that's-
You are the
that's
source
why.
of a light. So, as Castalia sits down thinking about her belt, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Well, I'm attuning to gloves at the same time.
Yeah, but you know, you got an hour to kill.
I'm just looking over the room, just kind of looking at the curiosities.
It is
If
quite
there's any
impressive.
Writing.
As you notice, the frescoes are actually sort of telling a story. You are seeing a lot of Urmom's conquests. You see a time before he had his two... before he had those two companions. And then you also see, for a time there were 4 of them. There were 5 of them. You see among their number a sturdy dwarf, slightly shorter, with a longer beard than Urmom. You see him brandishing great hammers. You see him swinging axes. They slew many great beasts. Quite a number of dragons as well. And also creatures that seem like dragons but humanoid, sort of. Not to the degree of a dragonborn. Or even the very rare half-dragons. These things were still highly bestial, but they stood upright, hunched forward, brandishing great blades. But then there's also times when they fought horned demons. They fought creatures who looked not unlike Castalia, but probably a little buffer. And it seems that he slaughtered his way around many of the lands. You do actually see a few recognizable emblems. You can see the symbol of Waterdeep. You can see the crest of Lord Neverember. You also see a few emblems that look orcish in nature. And a couple of the great dwarven clan emblems. This was a life lived entirely in solving conflict. In a way, he was no Ronald. And now, Castalia, the belt has been attuned. You feel the overlapping of dwarven knowledge going over dwarven knowledge you already have. Because everyone fucking speaks dwarf in this party.
Yep.
Except the kobold.
I mean, there's other mechanical benefits, but you're probably just going to swap this back to Siegfried anyway.
Probably.
So there's not much point shuffling hit points around.
Yeah.
But you feel attuned to it. And Siegfried, you feel strong. You feel like you could defend yourself now.
Well, let's get out of the party and blow the horn.
Alright, you bring it up. Give me a constitution check with advantage.
Oh dear.
You do have...
You
like
should
a-
have +1 to constitution checks because I believe it gave you plus.
Yeah, so we can add the number
Was it
on
plus
afterwards.
2, +1.
Alright, so it's just a straight constitution check or save?
Straight constitution with advantage. Oh yeah, more of an... Simple as hell. You play out one long, dolorous note. It takes a moment for you to get the right pressure, but then it just sort of eases down. You feel you've got the right sort of sound. And then from just the very ether around you, steps forward the figure of a strong-looking dwarf. In one hand he holds a tankard, in the other he holds nothing, for there is no second hand. The arm just ends at the elbow. He stands there in rough trousers, no shirt, and a thick length of material wrapped around his hair. His beard is trimmed just below the chin, or else, correction, just below the collarbones. He looks at you all for a moment with stern eyes, before bringing the tankard up to his lips, having a sip and then just simply stating, "So that's what that fucking feels like." And he just continues to watch you all.
Does Zazzle get the feeling this is an undead or something else?
This is not an undead. Are you only able to detect undead?
I think it's just undead, yeah.
Yeah, this does not register.
Like, it's just because he's dead and he's here doesn't necessarily mean he's undead.
He continues to watch you all, scrutinizing
Hello,
each of you.
friend.
Thank you.
For a moment, he looks down at the kobold. He looks like the eyes seem like they're piercing right for you, Zarzul. Unlike other times when you feel it's hostility of let's stick his head on a spike or something, he just looks for you like you are nothing. But you don't feel any malicious intent. It just feels like he is showing who's the big dog here. He also does it to
That's
Wolfgang, and
odd.
Wolfgang knows who the big dog is. It's not him. Not today. Aye.
Are you Urmom?
I'm Urmom Sofat. Aye.
Master Smith and Dwarven Hero?
Mainly the second bit. What you all doing in my tomb, then?
I look to Rain.
Oh, it's a bit of a long story, but to sum it up, some folks that are doing very not so good undead magic had interest in your tomb. We have his book that we're trying to open with a key, and he gave us a name and he gave us your tomb location. The key isn't here, which makes me think that whoever's trying to get into your tomb probably has the key.
You're the first who's come in about 50 odd years.
So that means they didn't get in.
Not a clue.
Well, it's probably a good thing. Do you know why they might... If we're talking, I don't know if they're flat on necromancy or if they're just trying to do things that prolong their longevity. But if somebody was coming in here to do nefarious necromancer things...
No dwarf
If
among
the-
you, then.
Huh?
You there. He looks over at Castalia. How are you able to blow the horn?
I tap the belt.
Ah, that fucking thing.
Unfortunately, our dwarf friend has found a better location for the time being.
Oh, that's a shame.
It
Still,
is.
let's have a look at you now. You don't look like no fighter, you look like a dancing girl I used to throw coins at now and again.
It would be surprising how terrifying this woman is.
Oi! Speaking to the lady.
I am no great warrior, but I am slowly earning a name for myself.
Let's have a look at you then.
I'd do a little spin, I guess.
Let's mean and step out so I can see you proper, that's good enough. Here, who's the flanky beard? Step out, you.
I guess he's talking about me, so I step out.
Guessing you're the one who wears the belt most of the time, aye?
Yeah,
Fucking hell.
it comes in handy.
You know what? Step back in.
I step back and try and hide behind whatever's close to me.
You know, in Eastgard, you drink, you eat, you be merry, you fight. It's fucking glory. And then I come down to this. World's gone to shite since I died. But,
Yeah.
silent you. I'm willing to give you a chance. Because every hero needs a quest, right?
Indeed.
And so do you lot, I suppose. You might notice I'm not a full dwarf. As he just wiggles his left arm, which is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know how fucking frustrating this makes fighting, drinking, and fucking.
I can certainly imagine.
Aye. Well, here's the thing. You see on the walls you've got that dragon bastard with the skinny wings. That's the cunt who took this. Now he's still alive. Mostly. I know he is. Fucking feel it every time I get a twinge in my elbow. He's still here in Raxis too. I'll give you a way to get him. You get me back my arm. You bury it here with me. Stick it in that box where my body is. You all don't look that eager on being made dragon slayers.
Oh, I just have one question. Whatever protects your casket is going to recognize if we're just going to put something in, correct?
Oh, you're getting my permission.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You'll be able to move it.
Deal then.
Alright.
So, what method would you suggest for killing this dragon?
Beheading?
Aye, that works on kobolds too. He sets down his mug on the ground, which looks a bit odd because it's a ghost mug. He walks up to Castalia and offers up this huge hand. It is bigger than her head. Solid, muscled fingers. We shake on it, right?
I
You lot
clasp
are
his
go-
ghost hand as best I can to shake.
You lot are gonna kill a dragon. We agreed?
Agreed.
Clothes around you, you can feel he might be a ghost, a spirit, something. It feels like he's real. It feels like he is solid mass as he grabs your hand, and it is such a vice grip. He's not trying to hurt you. There's a sternness in his eyes, but there's no maliciousness. It's just he's that strong. You can see that there's these massive bulging muscles all along him, despite the fact, his body is behind you in a stone box. And there's just a single shake. Good. I'm not asking you to do it for free. There's a reward after, but there's an advance as well. Now, any of you good with a hammer?
I raise my hand. I'm a blacksmith.
Ah, you're the only one who's not a fucking disappointment then. Right. Do you know about my previous weapon?
The tosser.
Ah, you've seen it.
Yes.
I learned how to do that with near any weapon. Can't be a big, heavy two-hander, though.
Hmm.
Anything smaller, though, I can make it return. And you'll be able to as well. Now, hang on a second, this one's a bit tricky. He walks over to the forge. You see him give it a great resounding bang with his hand. There's actually a dent in the metal. The grate pops open, and he reaches inside to bring out a chunk of dark, solid rock. It looks like the same stuff that the statues and all were made out of. And then he just starts smashing it against his coffin. until it breaks apart and you see in solid... It looks the right color of brass, but it seems more fluid, like the texture of it keeps on flowing. But it's a strange runic shape. You spend 4 hours. You bash this against something with a hammer. The rune will go, but it'll be on the weapon from the rest of its existence. You throw it, it hits or it misses, it'll be back in your hand.
I nod my head.
That'll
Hold
work
my
on
hand.
even their pig stickers. Now, fair warning though, he's not no normal dragon. He's no colour, he's no metal. He's a shadow dragon. Made of the purest fucking darkness. He'll be tricksy, don't fight him at night. He can't fly but well fucked his wings upright. He can glide, but he's not going to be able to just jump up and hover. Broke his leg too, he's not going to be much of a runner. Mind you, it's been 100 years, so he might be better, but I fucking doubt it. You take this. He then pulls off the sort of bandana he's got around his head. Tosses it to one of you. He'll sniff that out. You keep that in a bag. You only let that out when you want to fight him. He'll come running.
I take a hold of it and then stuff it into one of the pouch.
There's a lot of resistance as you try to put it in the pouch. Which is a bit embarrassing, as you're trying to force this slip of material into a pocket, and Urmom's just watching you do this, struggling. It's taking so much force, your elbow is trembling. But eventually it goes
Have you
inside.
actually identified those pouches?
No.
Not myself, only the lady in the city, I think.
Yep. Right. But you kill that thing. You get my arm back. And we'll have a good deal. You all looking forward to it?
Yeah.
By the way, throughout all this, he has kept a stony poker face.
I smile and
Malgurn
nod.
Malgurn looks like a joyous child compared to the face of this dwarf. Alright then.
I don't know. One question. In which
Aye, the
direction
scrawny one at
would
the
be-
back.
Yes. Which direction would this dragon be in?
He'd be hiding up high, probably in the northern mountains, but you waft that around, he'll come running for it. Now you keep that in mind. You pull that out in the open air, he'll be on you in hours.
Alright.
So make sure when he shows up, it's on your terms.
Alrighty, well then.
Good. Any other questions, quandaries?
Does
No.
he have any particular weakness?
Already told you he can't fly. He's not going to be doing a whole lot of walking. And don't fight him at night. You keep those rules together, you might have a fucking chance. Looking at you lot though, I don't see a lot going to Isgard. I'll be happy to be proven wrong, but I doubt it. Yeah. Well, do me proud, bring me arm back.
Well, gotta hope he hasn't any other arms back. Got any other arm?
We'll see. You'll recognize mine. It'll be 3 times the thickness of any others. Good hunting. And he just vanishes.
That was an experience.
The ghost tankard is still on the ground.
Do we still have any of that ramping cock?
The cask's outside.
I was thinking of pouring whatever we had left in its mug.
Yeah, I imagine Cornelius probably has some left because beer is not his preferred drink.
How can you not like some rampant cock?
It's too thick for his throat, I imagine.
I'm all for sharing a drink with him.
So,
So you pour one out for your homie.
yeah.
Yeah.
It catches, it holds the fluid. It also continues to sit there with strange, wispy mist coming off it.
Well, maybe eventually it'll come back, who knows. So let's get out of here before we accidentally nudge something and set something off.
That's the wisest thing you've said in a while.
I roll
call
my
it-
eyes but don't comment.
I call out as we leave. Enjoy the drink. We'll be back with your arm and more.
It echoes a little. There's no response. And so you all head out of the dank, dark crypt. Actually, it was quite pristine. Then you're back out into daylight, blazing daylight. It seems like the darkness in that crypt from the stonework just sucked it out of your eyes. Even with a lantern, it didn't help much, and there's a moment of adjustment. It's a bit past noon.
So how do we close the crypt again?
Probably empty the guy's tankard.
Well, if you check the tankard, it's empty.
Hmm.
Try and say to the statue in Dwarven goodbye. And thanks for the drink.
Or we could just, Oh wait, no, those are teams together. Can't just take it up. The other statue, I mean.
Yeah, I guess it didn't help saying that to the statue.
Well, what are you guys
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, I said that I said goodbye and thanks for the drink to the statue in Dwarven.
Yep.
Guess nothing happened.
I closed the door.
You see the kobold
Jesus.
scrabble as he tries to drag the door closed. You think if you leave him at it, he'll probably wear away a groove in the floor before that door starts to move.
Well, Siegfried's still got the gloves on. He goes and helps.
It's wedge solid. It feels like it's actually built that way.
Well, since we have to fight the dragon and come back here anyways, come to think of it, would here be a decent place to fight the dragon?
Probably not. He might get angry if we damage his tomb.
Well, as long as we stay in the nearby vicinity and we can keep watch on it, we could leave it open.
Are you feeling particularly up to taking a dragon out at the moment?
Well, it's either that or we have to go deal with the undead up north, who apparently wanted to get in here in the first place.
I feel like we should probably be better equipped before taking on a dragon, injured or not. Speaking of which, who has the cloth? Because apparently I couldn't shove it down my...
Oh no, you could. It just took a bit of work.
Okay.
It's in your pouch.
Okay. I would definitely suggest that we get better prepared.
probably set up an arena to fight it in.
This isn't Terraria.
I still want to close this up before we leave it open to other people.
Well, how did it look whenever you first arrived?
I try and move part of the statue that we reassembled. See if we can just disassemble it.
It just sloughs off and it starts to crumble entirely.
Huh.
And slowly, gratingly, the door starts to close, trapping Zarzul inside. He has 5 minutes of air. He better get quick on the build. Oh, but wait, the beer's inside too. That's too late for him. But yes, the doors close, but the tomb is sealed.
Well, I suppose we can head off to the undead horde, which has probably got the key. I look at everybody else for consensus.
Sure.
Sure, let's just go to our death.
Alright, so let's come up with a better way to go down the hill.
We have rope.
Yeah, let's do that and go down with aid.
Watching it also mean leaving the rope behind.
Yeah, it's so hard to get rope. I think Rain even has a length of silk rope.
Yes, I do.
Well, what are your plans? I figure we'll end the session a little bit early now, but think about what you're going to do next session. You have options.
Yep.
Death or fast.
Rain does have something she's going to do when we do the night watch.
As do I.
It's only about 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Well, chances are we should likely head to go find you.
Are they going to be within a day's march, or are we still going to have to rest?
If Zarzul focuses senses, I don't really know how distance converts and all that sort of thing, but for ease, it'll be starting to be nighttime by the time you catch up with them, if they're still in the same spot. But if they've continued traveling, it'll be middle of the night by the time you get them, maybe.
Then we might want to do a little bit of hiking and then bunker down, because we don't want to be fighting an undead horde at night.
Alright.
Agree.
So you're going to head off north to take on the possible undead menace.
Mm-hmm.
How do you...
Hey, the Shadow Dragon's north too. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Well, he's wherever you hold up that bit of cloth.
Well, that's good.
Keep that in mind.
Could we get somebody out? No, probably not dwarven enough. Find some army we don't like and then put the cloth out in the middle of it.
It's just a bad time to remind Cornelius about the time he was putting coins in his pockets and coins came out at random.
We could also work on identifying the belt. Rain is going to suggest, as we start heading off, that Cornelius let her look at the belt and identify it for herself.
I can do it myself.
You can do it yourself too, as long as somebody does it.
We exchange magical items so he can see at night.
Yeah, when you get your gauntlets back.
You get your gauntlet back, and I get the belt, which means I get my decent beard.
Oh, your beard remained. It didn't fall out. But it also means you don't get to see Castalia wake up with a beard.
That's
Oh,
a benefit.
no.
She seems heartbroken.
But no, I get to ask my master about Shadow Dragon.
You could do.
I likely will on my watch.
But we'll get to that next session. For now, we'll end this session of Rescue Raxis. You have a goal in mind. There will be travel, there will be danger. There may be a dragon for the first time. The group who ignored the dragon on the cover of the starter set will finally fight one, maybe. And we will be back potentially next week. Anyone got a problem with next week?
Don't think so.
What?
At this point.
Bio? No?
I'll be fine for next week.
There we go, then.
Good.
We'll be back next week with another Rescue at Raxis. And now I click the button that says